Hello! I'm Liz.
I'm Mr. J.
And we live in Monmouthshire in the UK, and we're Homestead Homies.
And you're watching
Off Grid with Doug and Stacey.
Oh, good.
They're off grid.
Oh, they're off grid.
And they are Doug and Stacey.
All right, good morning. What's up, Homestead Homies? Woo! All right, here we go. Part 2 of our knife build. We're back at it today. We're going to early start today. We're going to really try to hammer through this and get done. And then probably in the next video you see with Jeremy and myself, we're going to talk about his homestead, his layout, and aging in place. And hopefully I can give him a couple tips. He's got a lot of stuff kind of already set out. Maybe I'll change his mind on it. Maybe I won't. So stay tuned, and here we go.
Right on.
All right, so we have the knife in the vise.
Yep.
So the next part is, you say, smoothing out this.
Yeah, we want to get, the biggest reason is that we're going to mark 2 lines that we're going to grind our bevel to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to grind it paper thin or else it'll warp and heat treat.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to leave it too thick or else there's too much to sharpen. So about 20 thousandths of an inch is what we're going to want. But to get that accurately laid out, we need a really smooth surface. And just because it's hard to get in here and we want all these lines going this way, you know, if we're using the big grinder, all our grind lines would be like this. We don't want that. So we're just going to use a single cut file, like this is an axe file or a mill bastard file. And what you'll do is on the single cut side, so make sure it's not the side that has file marks like this, you just want single cut. You put the handle in your left hand and you draw it towards you, and this is a process called draw filing.
Mm-hmm.
It actually produces a really, really good surface finish, a much smoother surface finish than you get even with a fine file. So you'll basically just kind of set it here. We can kind of keep it nice and level and flat. We're just going to pull it towards us. You can just see those shavings all coming like that. And then you can also kind of put just the edge down. You'll still feel it cut quite a bit and cut those lines in. And then flatten it out. And basically, like all these ridges in here, we want to get all those gone, those little grind marks.
Okay. And you say always on this kind of a technique is to use the handle on the left side of the knife.
Yeah, and then you draw it towards you. It's just kind of the way, and you're on the, let me see which side you're on there. Yep, you're good. Good.
Yeah, you can really feel it, you know, it's grabbing it.
It really does cut. Like, perfecto. Okay, now just wipe off those little shavings. And then while it's in there, so I've got a special jig that we're going to use for putting the lines on there. But what I like to do is we'll take some marker and we'll make the blade dark so that the lines kind of pop. So just get you to paint that whole surface with that marker there. Perfect. And then we'll set up on the granite surface plate, which is just a really flat, precise granite piece of stone. And then I'll show you the jig we're going to use to mark our 2 lines.
Cool.
Alright, so now you've got this edge all marked out, and that's just to help these lines that we're going to put in show up.
Right.
And all you have here is a granite surface plate, so it's just a really precisely manufactured, very flat stone.
Right.
And then this is just a little tool that I made, and it's just got a metal scribe in it, and it holds at an angle. And we've kind of adjusted it, so we're going to get roughly the right height on there. And all we'll do is just keep this flat, and just scratch that line on there. And then bring it over this way, do the other side, scratch it on there, and that should give us 2 lines that are about 20 thousandths of an inch apart.
And then as we shape that for the blade, that's what we're working towards.
Yeah, we'll grind the material away until we reach those lines. So that gives us a good stopping point. We can kind of use that as our reference to make sure we get nice even grinds.
Gotcha.
You got to press too hard? Yep, perfect.
All the way up?
Yep, flip over and do the other side. Alright, so now we've marked those lines in. I don't know if it's going to show up too well. I think it's in focus, but basically we've got 2 lines scratched in. These ones are about 25 thousandths of an inch apart. And as we start grinding, we're going to use that as our guide where we stop so that we don't grind too far. And then also that makes sure that when we bring the point, it's going to be right in the center of our piece of steel. We don't want to have a blade that's off-shaped one way or the other. So that just gives a good, really visual reference to work from and work to.
Cool. All right, so now we're going to grind the bevel. Okay, so basically what he's done, he's kind of like a slickster when it comes to machining stuff and getting things. He's made this template or jig, if you will, and we basically are just using the Sanford & Son vice grip to hold it on there, and then this screw actually adjusts the angle, okay? So as I'm going to get ready to do this, we're going to grind this down to those 2 lines that we made a second ago, and then that's going to give us the edge on our, you know, on our knife. So they say this is one of the hardest parts of knife making, and we'll see if I can nail it on the first try.
Ready to grind the other bevel?
Doing it.
No.
Alright, so we got our bevels cut in with the other sandpaper. I switched it to the finer grade. So I've done one side and now I'm going to do the other. And teacher says that I've done pretty good with the bevels so far for my first time especially. So I'm just going to continue this on and match my lines up so we get a nice edge. Alright, so we started off with the jig, and then he said, you know, I was getting it pretty good, so we went on to the freehand, which basically you saw in that clip just before this. I put the blade against the grinding belt and then just guided it with my hand. And don't worry, these blisters are here from back to Eden Gardening. It's not from anything to do with this. And we just put our blade on there as we're grinding, as you saw, and it's just a nice, easy motion across there. And so far the teacher says I've done pretty good for my first time ever touching a machine like this and doing a grind, so it's turning out pretty good. So the reason why we're doing that is because we're trying to reduce some of the weight of the handle. So we have a good balanced knife, and then we still have to put our blocks on for the handle. So we're just trying to take out some of this inside here. We're not getting onto the edges where we've already made a nice edge for our handle and everything. So this is just removing some of the steel from the inside here, and the handles will go on top of that. You'll never see it, and it just helps balance it out the knife. Alright, so we got the knife hollowed out. We put some lacquer thinner on it to clean it off, make sure there's no debris on it. We're getting ready to put it in the heat treat oven at 1400 degrees. Blade side up. And then we'll let that go for about 10-15 minutes, and then we'll see how she looks. Alright, so about 1480 degrees is about critical temperature. We've been in there about 10 or 15 minutes, so now we're going to take it out and we're going to dip it in our oil quench. Ho ho!
This is the fun part. You get in there as quick as you can. Yep. Dip, dip it, dip, yep.
So we have our knife dipped in oil, ready to go. It's cooled off. We're going to put it in the Toast R oven by Black & Decker at 400 degrees for about 20 minutes. We take it out, let it air cool, and then repeat the process on the other side. The crucial part of this whole thing is this particular model of toaster oven. This is the Toast R oven by Black & Decker.
That's right. That's important.
Alright, so Jeremy says that we're going to be using the surface conditioning belt, and we're going to clean up this black stuff here that you get from the heat treat, and we're basically just going to be focusing on the blade forward, and then everything else we're going to be hand sanding and getting ready. So here we go. So let's see, we got the hand sanding done. Now we're going to tape up the end of the knife so we can start working on our scales. For all you guys that don't know like me, the scales are what they call in the handle covers. We're actually using that wood that we showed you earlier. So I'm going to tape this up and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so we have the knife taped up. The reason why we're taping it up here is so we don't get any scratches on it after we've sanded it. You know, we have our finish pretty good where we want it. And so now this will protect it, so in case anything bumps up against it while we're putting on the scales, we won't have any problems. So I actually had to re-drill this. What happened was, as you saw in the clip previously, I let the hole get away from me, and then it caused an oblong shape here, so that's not going to work good for our handle. So I'm re-drilling them now, and right now I'm going to put my pin in. This will just hold the knife in place while I do my other hole here, and I learned from my mistake. going.
It was like DevCon. This is like an industrial grade. You can't just go to like Home Depot and buy this stuff. Our bud looks 50-50 to me.
Alright, coat the knife. Grab the wood, coat the back of the wood.
Yep. So you're gonna coat the. Which side are we gonna do?
This side here.
Yep. You don't need it too thick. Like it can be basically paper thin almost. But I just put a healthy dab and then spread it all in, just like you're spreading jam or peanut butter.
Just on the edges here.
Yep.
Don't worry about that.
Nope. Here, I'll.
Okay.
And you get the sitter on there.
Right there. Okay.
So is that pushed in now? Is it get her lacing? Yep. Then I'd pound those through all the way on this side. Which is there. Good. Now we can epoxy the other side now. This side here.
Okay.
Start slapping her on. Very nice. I can just set that down for a sec. Slap her all up. Yep, just set that part down. And just coat this thing nice and good. Perfect. It's like just the right amount of epoxy. That's good. Perfect. Yep, that's excellent. Now, we'll wrap it with some parchment.
Alright, we have the hand profile done. We did this with a 600 grit on the final sanding. So this will really absorb and give a nice shine to this Queensland maple. Yeah, Queensland maple. And so when I put this, it's a Danish oil on here, it should really pop and bring out the lines and the layers of this wood. So this is what they call the big reveal.
This is like the most exciting part in knife making with wooden scales. This is like the stand by. I need another camera going actually. Okay.
Yeah, you don't want to miss it.
Oh, we need like 3 cameras on this sucker. Okay, this is it. Oh,
wow.
Snap! That is.
Oh, that's beautiful.
It doesn't look like much, does it? And then you
Oh,
put
it
that
does.
on there, and then Shazam!
Shazam is right.
That is why they call that the big reveal.
Not all woods do it, but you see that's actually light reflecting within the wood itself.
Yeah.
Kind of like you're saying, kind of like a pearlescent.
Right.
Just a natural luminescence in the wood. Oh my goodness.
That is hot tamale right there.
I'm jealous. I should have given you some piece of poplar.
Or some of that, what is that stuff we wouldn't have had to grind down?
Oh yeah, just some synthetic G10.
Yeah, the one thing about it, I was telling Jeremy here that the hardest part so far, I think, has just been getting the grind right on the handle and making sure that it's even, and you know, you don't take away too much at a time. So, but yeah, now that I see that coming out of there, it does add to the whole flavor of the knife. It really gives it a good look.
Yeah, I'll probably do like 3 coats of Danish oil. So put on a fairly heavy coat, want it kind of wet, and you let that soak into the wood. And what that'll do is that'll get into the wood, and it's kind of got some like resins and stuff in it, and it'll harden in there. And you do like 3 coats of that, and it'll actually make that wood waterproof. That is a nice looking knife there, Doug.
And I think the best part about it is that we made it together. You know, it's all like handmade by my own hands.
Yep.
I mean, you know, if you guys can get into something like this, you know, this is family heirloom stuff that'll be handed down from generation to generation with the story behind it. And of course, my story rocks. I came all the way to Canada to do this, to go through this process. So
it's true, yes.
This process.
Having said that, I noticed on one of your Instagram posts yesterday, one of the commenters said you didn't have to go all the way to Canada to do that.
Yeah.
Totally true. So you could do these.
Yeah, you can do them anywhere you want. But,
yeah.
You know, when you want to learn from a guy who's got the experience, and we also have the YouTube thing in common.
Yep.
I mean, it just made for the right thing to do, you know?
Totally.
And we've spoken, and Jeremy's been a subscriber of our channel for a while, and we have his, you know, back in the early days. And so it's also nice to put a meet and greet on the face and everything, and really, you know, I've really enjoyed my time here, that's for sure.
Yeah, no, it's been great having you.
All right, I guess we'll let that dry up a little bit. All right, finally at the end almost of the knife build. As you can see, we're really happy. I'm really happy too, the way the handle turned out after you saw the stain go on. Sealed up nice. And now we're going to work the edge and get our get our edge on for sharpen. That's it, man. 2 days of a knife build. Now we're gonna go get some din. We're gonna hang out and talk some more stuff, and then I'm gonna try to get some sleep. I leave out of here pretty early tomorrow morning. Thanks a lot, guys, for following me along on this vid. I know it's a little bit different than what we normally shoot here at our place, and I already got my blood coming out right here on my finger. The knife's pretty sharp, but I'm really happy with the way it turned out. I really like this wood stock here. Queensland oak. Maple. Queensland maple.
From Australia.
From Australia. Okay, mate? Because we have a lot of people who watch watch us from Australia.
And this was sent as a gift
from
my YouTube channel.
Yeah, that makes it really neat. Somebody actually sent this to him because he makes knives and they appreciate them. And he turned around and basically donated it to Off Grid with Doug and Stacy so we can make our knife. So that was really huge. And a big shout out to Jeremy at Simple Little Life. Go check out his channel, guys. He's been nothing but hospitable to your homestead homie. And it's just been a fun experience making this knife and going through all the steps from scratch. You know, when we started, this was a block of steel. I mean, it's just, when you think about it, it's just really neat. So again, thanks for watching all the vids, guys. We're gonna see you guys tomorrow. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're gonna be live probably after you already watch us. Don't forget, we're always live the first Thursday of every new month. And don't forget, we're gonna be at the Mother Earth News Fair Conference in Vermont, Burlington, Vermont, June 10th and 11th. And just all kinds of stuff going on. Make sure you're always checking the description box down below so you can catch up. Jeremy's information is going to be there, so you guys can go check out his channel, build some great knives, has knives for sale. If you want a keepsake, a memorable piece that you can hand down to your kids and their kids, I mean, you know, even if you don't build it, to have a good quality knife is always good to have in the arsenal. So don't forget to check us out on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Don't forget, Jeremy does have a great Instagram feed, so I'm going to leave that link down below for you guys too. Go smash it, watch his latest video, tell him the Homestead homies are in the house and that Doug and Stacy sent you, and we'll see you tomorrow.
Hey guys, thanks for watching our video. You might want to check out these videos.
And if you want to become a Homestead homie, click the picture of us below.
We will see you tomorrow.